What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol ABCL for AbCellera Biologics. On the left-hand side, we're looking at the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First thing to point out here is that there was some news. There was a catalyst, obviously, that led to this gap up here, but you can completely see it was a gap and trap fading off of this area of resistance and making its way to fill the gap right around $20. But into the end of the day, we actually saw a bounce towards the gap fill area. So that's the main thing to sort of update you on here, the fact that we are respecting the gap fill area at 20, right? So if we go ahead and take a look from the 30-minute perspective, it was certainly nasty selling here, but the fact that it didn't just, completely continue to slice down through is noteworthy, the fact that we're holding that 20. But it doesn't just mean automatically long here, so we're going to take out the fibs from the high of the move all the way on down to the low, essentially, the gap fill area. And what you can see is that we never really got back above this 38.2 here on the small bounce into the end of the day, so that's going to act as your line in the sand to the upside. Any consolidation that really happens in here is going to strike me as bearish, right? Because we're not getting back above that number there. So we are looking for a breakdown of 20 if that happens to be the case. If we can get back above it, though, that's where things start to change, and that's where I would probably expect a reattempt of this area of resistance up here, just kind of a general zone, today's high, but also this area of contention from in the past, right around 22.35, we'll call it, to 22.65, just, using round numbers up there, about a 30-cent zone. That's where you want to be on the lookout for potential resistance to come back into play if there is any move back above, again, the 38.2, which is currently sitting at $20.92. We're going to go ahead and throw that on via a regular price level, then we'll clean up the fibs, make this a little bit easier to look at. So that's the upside case. After that, as mentioned in yesterday's video, clearly 27 will be the next overhead target. Again, from a structural standpoint, not saying that it has to get there all in one day, all in one week, anything of the sorts, but that strikes me as the next major area to pay attention to. To the downside, if we do break down under that 21, 20, what are we looking out for? Well, I would argue it's probably just down into the support trend line. So down into this, which is currently, if it happens very early on in the day, maybe it's around 18. If it happens later on in the week, maybe it's around 1875, right? It could be a number of places based on time and depending on when we get into it, but based on the uptrend we're in and how strong it's acted as support here, that is a potential buy point. We did make a higher high, so it is worth at least maybe taking a stab long there if we don't just cut right through it to the downside, right? So if we start printing hammers at this area here, indecision dojis, basically anything that would make you question, okay, is this pullback ending? Can we flip long over the highs? That would be a risk-friendly entry here at the support trend line if it pans out that way. In that case, stop goes just underneath. That way we have tight risk, and we're basically looking for those upside levels, which we just mapped out. Still 20, still this 20, let's just round that to 21, and then after that, today's high of day in that sort of zone we discussed from 22.35 up to 22.65, right? 30-cent zone up there. So those are my thoughts. The gap fill, again, interesting that it did hold here and not just blow right through. So that is going to act as a positive note. You have a couple of plays to be watching out for, and that's going to wrap up the video. So if you enjoyed it, let me know down below in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description, and all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.